Hello traders, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Miat and there is NFP ahead of us in a few hours. I'd like to talk about how NFP works. I think a lot of people have been told that NFP is always this big news event, unpredictable, job numbers rules everything. If added jobs are high, it's good for the USD. If they're lower than expected, you will find that your USD should rally. However, you might have noticed it doesn't always pan out like that, and it gets sometimes confusing. So job numbers could be good, but USD isn't appreciating at all. Now here's the thing, the price doesn't follow what the job numbers do, it follows what the sentiment does. So that means two things. Either market is discounting what the job numbers are and already looking at the next event and starting to price that in, or job numbers were in the focus to start with, which is the case in this NFP. If this NFP comes in incredibly higher than expected, or incredibly lower, I think the consensus is around 200,000 added jobs, it would not matter as there's no evolving trend in that. However, what we are looking at is the hourly wage growth. As the hourly wage growth goes up, more Americans will have money in their pockets, which means they'll be spending that money and driving inflation higher, which calls for the Fed to take reactions and rise interest rates to dampen that inflation going ahead. So you can see the knock-on effect it will have from rising wages. So that's what we will be looking out for in this report. If you get expected wage growth or a little bit higher, that would be extremely negative for all the pairs trading against the USD, including gold. Saying that, let's have a look at the charts as well, as we always like to use supply and demand levels prior to the NFP report to determine how often what levels price will react. I'm going to go for the main pairs. So starting with the Aussie dollar, we've got these zones a little bit under 78 cents and at 77.61. I expect some reaction out of those levels. However, in the medium term, short term, I'm somewhat neutral on that pair. Euro USD, we just had a massive drop on the back of the ECB yesterday. The level at 23, about 68. We're likely to see some reaction should price retrace back onto the event, and the downside is somewhat a little bit more open. We had somewhat good buying going up the way, and then selling starts coming in, which is very likely seeing all those people, all those positions get neutralized going forward into the week. Also prior to the 21st of March, where the next Fed meeting is, and likely they're gonna maybe project higher interest rates going forward, or more hikes, so to say. We've got cable zones that outlined are 1.3896 and 1.3758. Should see some reaction from these points. Medium term bullish on that pair, whereas I believe that once the Brexit negotiations get on a little bit eased, market starts pricing the next rate hike from the BOE. We've got USD CAD, which should likely see some sort of reaction from any of those two levels. Likely to see actually CAD appreciate going forward as the NAFTA talks are getting a bit more positive traction as well. So maybe we might see this level bleed over a smaller bounce. We've got the USD JPY, which I am targeting around the 108 level going forward. We've got a level from here which it broke out last night at 106.31. If price should get volatile during the NFP, we're likely to see some action at this level and target the higher levels. Lastly, gold. Gold is a bit tricky. Going by the volume here, we see there's some pairing in buying and selling, and somewhat neutral, even though you see that sort of hourly downtrend here. I don't have a particular bias on gold. I'm very keen that we should take out the 1300 level should the rate path increase. So we should, if you see 4 rate hikes this year, unlikely to see in the short term 1300 level in the gold hold. Just to that, and hopefully you found this video and analysis interesting. I always like to get traders thinking from a different perspective. So today you learned how NFP works and what we're actually looking at from NFP to NFP, and also how to maybe realize some profits out of that. Thanks for tuning in today, and looking forward to see you next time. Bye.